Wow. Wow. You're thanking me. I'm thanking you. Shalom, Quad Cities. Shalom, Quad Cities. I bring you blessings from Jerusalem. It is such an honor and a pleasure for me to be here with you all tonight. It is my first event to come here, and this is really mind-boggling for me to just come back and tell my friends back in Israel what I've seen, what love I've seen, what support I've seen, and we really, really don't take it for granted. So thank you very, very much for that. I arrived here about a year ago to the Midwest, and as the Consul General of Israel to the Midwest, just before I arrived here, I was summoned by the Prime Minister's office to the office and to get our marching orders of the reach out here to the Midwest. I was instructed to sit down with a friend that had a basic knowledge of Chicago and the region here, and he said to me, my friend, there are going to be 3 topics that I want you to make sure that you do not take it personal if you're not going to be able to achieve those goals while you're there. I said, what are we talking about? He said, so the first thing you might want to know is that it's going to be very, very tough for you because the Cubs have not won the World Series for 108 years. So you're looking at the first Israeli Consul General in the history of the state of Israel, 70 years, that have seen the Cubs win the World Series. How about that? The second, he told me that the winters during October are going to be extremely hectic. I think it looks pretty mild out there. 2 out of 2, I think pretty good record. And the third is bringing the Messiah. That will work. That will take a few more years, I think. So we're working on that one also. So 2 out of 3. I'm very excited and proud to be here this evening on this remarkable occasion of your 14th annual night to honor Israel. It is truly an honor to be in the presence of so many friends of Israel. When I heard the shofars blowing at the beginning of tonight's program, I was reminded that the original purpose of the shofar was to call the people of Israel together as one community, unified to a purpose of a common goal. Tonight, we are surely one community of Christians and Jews who have come together to celebrate the ancient and modern wonder that is called the State of Israel. I'm so pleased that this is truly an interfaith event with the participations of rabbis and pastors, Christian and Jewish leaders from several Illinois and Iowa communities. And I specifically want to congratulate my dear friend Tom, Chairman of the Quad Cities Night to Honor Israel. I had the honor of spending time in Israel with the governor of Iowa just a few weeks ago. And also the Quad Cities Association of Evangelical, the sponsor of this event, for putting together a terrific event. Thank you. I want to also acknowledge another good friend of ours, Alan Ross, the Executive Director of the Quad Cities Jewish Federation right here. Alan, thank you. Thank you for your support for this special night to honor Israel throughout the years, as I'm pleased to see that what we have with us tonight, many Jewish community leaders from several Illinois and Iowa cities, including Springfield, Peoria, and Des Moines. So thank you, all of you, for attending tonight. My friends, 69 years after Israel was established, there are not many who remember what life was like for the Jewish people before there was a state of Israel. I urge you to take a few minutes tonight to reflect on that past. Just think about a people who were subject to every evil possible. Think about a people without the power to defend themselves. Think about a people whose heads were bowed, begging others to protect them. And almost 70 years later, think about the sovereignty that we have restored. Think about a nation that stands tall again. And think about the people who worship freely in united holy city of Jerusalem, the eternal, undivided capital of Israel. Think about all that we have managed to build together, which is a flourishing democracy, a safe home to the Jewish people, a safe haven for Christians and Muslims, and a cutting-edge innovative economy, and most importantly, an unbreakable alliance with the world's greatest power, the United States of America. This is truly a miracle, my friends, and should never be taken for granted. However, Israel is still facing many challenges. Even today, the Middle East is packed with regimes and movements that are dedicated to our destruction. First and foremost is Iran, that is developing nuclear weapons to do just that. Together, we will never let that happen. We are deeply grateful to the President and to Congress for their commitment to Israel's security, and most importantly, to the enormous support coming from the U.S. public, like right here in Quad Cities, and friends like you. So on behalf of the State of Israel, thank you. An additional challenge that we are facing on the diplomatic arena is the delegitimization that Israel currently encounters in the Western world of all places. Now, don't get me wrong. Fair criticism is appreciated, but these forces are calling against the mere existence of Israel as a Jewish state. We see this phenomenon strongly, even in Europe, where growing anti-Semitism is disguised as anti-Israeli sentiment, and even more in the multilateral arena, especially at the UN and its bodies. Just like last year, the United Nations Human Rights Council has issued more resolutions against Israel than those against the rest of the world combined. Syria is bathed in blood. Iran is hanging freedom activists daily. Human rights atrocities are occurring all across the globe, yet Israel is the problem. Mind-boggling. Recently, this phenomenon is attempting to cross the Atlantic Ocean and is trying to set foot on U.S. soil. On college campuses throughout the U.S., students are ashamed for their support of Israel and are targeted for it. Efforts are being made to assault Israel's legitimacy with events organized by radical groups. They call for boycotting and sanctioning Israel of all countries. What they don't know, my friends, is that American values will never allow these vicious lies stand against the only democracy in the Middle East. That will never happen. And in defiance of all of those attacks, the forces of good are pushing back actively. We see it clearly, both on the federal level and on the state level. America is sending a clear and loud message. No more Israel bashing. We applaud the words of the United States Ambassador to the UN that said, it is the UN anti-Israel bias that is long overdue for change. And by that, she's sending a clear message to the UN. No more Israel bashing. U.S. Senate has recently sent a bipartisan letter to the UN with 100 senators signing on, stating, too often the UN is exploited as a vehicle for targeting Israel. We are united in our desire to see the United Nations improve its treatment of Israel. Clearly, Congress is saying the same thing. No more Israel bashing. And recently, United States withdrawing from UNESCO, from the organization, continuing anti-Israel bias after it denied any connection between the Temple Mount and Judaism and classified Israel as an occupying power in Israel's internal capital. Is that mind-boggling or what? My favorite, however, is the state level. The great state of Illinois and the great state of Iowa in an amazing display of bipartisanship support between the executive and the legislative branch. We're the first in the United States and in the world to send a clear message with an anti-BDS legislation saying no more Israel bashing. They have led the way in a pioneer manner that has brought many other states in the United States to follow them in legislating similarly, including from the Midwest, Indiana, Michigan, and just last year, Minnesota. Fortunately, as we all know, Israel is not about the conflict. Israel is about many great things like technology and innovation, from biotechnology to nanotechnology, from telecommunication to digitalization, a true startup nation. The best message that comes with a great ROI is to invest in Israel, and this is exactly what the Midwest is doing. I had the honor just recently of traveling to Israel with Iowa's governor for a WOTEC conference. I will be traveling in 2 weeks' time with the Illinois governor and Wisconsin governor to Israel for additional technology meetings and many more business delegations from the heart of America straight to the heart of Israel. Moreover, Israel that we love is about the great beaches, great cuisine, great wine, and most importantly, great people. So for me, the best answer to the cause of divestments is to do just the opposite. It is to invest in Israel like you've been doing for the last 14 years in the Quad Cities night. Thank you for that. These 14 amazing nights that included investment for vital projects like helping Jews fleeing from persecution and integrating them into the Israeli society, upgrading bomb shelters from a nursery school in Nachal Oz to reinforcing operating rooms at Carmel Medical Center. These are all amazing projects that we are highly, highly appreciative of. The title of this event, ladies and gentlemen, is A Night to Honor Israel. But I'm right here standing on behalf of the state of Israel, on behalf of the government of Israel, and most importantly, on behalf of the people of Israel, to honor and thank you, our great friends. My friends, from federal to state, from executive to legislative, from students to faculty, and from businessmen to investors, all prove to us daily that when good people stand together for what is right, justice will prevail. Indifference is not an option, and taking a vocal stand is the answer. And this is what the Quad Cities has been doing for so many years, and we're forever grateful. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, friends, for not being indifferent. Thank you for believing in us. Thank you for a bipartisan support. And thank you all, and God bless America. God bless the state of Israel, and next year in Jerusalem. Thank you very, very much.